Hi, hey, hello. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've done one of these vlogs. It hasn't been that long. It's been 2 weeks, I think. This is going to be a normal weekly reading vlog, except it's not going to be quite so normal because today is actually Saturday. I don't normally start them until like Sunday usually, but I'm going to be ending this vlog on Tuesday. And that is because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I am going to be either traveling or at location. I'm going to be going to a convention show for my work, and I'm going to be working a table, and I just don't want to have to worry about vlogging while I'm doing that, which for you, this was in the past already, so it doesn't even really matter. Also, on top of that, Monday, I am getting my second dose of my COVID vaccine. So Tuesday, I'm pretty much planning on being out of commission. I am staying home from work that day, but I just don't expect me to be doing much at all. So I am gonna vlog that day as best as I can while not feeling well so that you guys can kind of see what it's like. After my first dose, I wasn't vlogging a weekly vlog, so you didn't get to see it, but I did get my first dose about a month ago, and I had like some arm pain. I did have some chills. I didn't ever have a fever or anything, but my arm hurt for about a week after it, like really bad hurt for about a week after it. And I had chills the night that I got the vaccine, but other than that, I was perfectly fine. So I'm kind of expecting similar things: body aches, chills, pain in my arm, like at sight, maybe a fever this time, maybe not. I just filmed my May TBR bingo, and I have been like in a rut through most of April. So even though it's April 24th at the moment, I'm actually going to be starting my April bingo, my TBR. I switched to this board now. You can watch that whole entire video. It's last Friday's video, so you can go watch it now. But in that video, let me go pick up the pile of books that I pulled for. So these are all the physical books that I hope to read in the month of May, and because this plus 2 ebooks that I pulled for are a lot of pages, I'm gonna be starting now. I've just been kind of like in a rut in the month of April. I don't know like what's totally going on with me. I feel like I was getting out of a slump, and then all of a sudden I felt like I was back in it, and I'm so lost and confused by that feeling, but I don't like it. This hair, I've been trying to get it to go away for a while now, but it won't. I don't like it, and I honestly think if I just kind of like scrap the month of April and just ignore it and move on to May reading, like giving myself new books, giving myself new prompts, will hopefully be what I needed to read. So because this plus 700 pages in ebook format is a lot, I'm okay with starting this now, but I need to do the math and figure out how many pages I need to read every single day in order to accomplish this stack. So I have 31 days in May, I'm pretty sure. Yes, there are 31 days in May plus 7 days in April left. Why did I do it this way? 38. So that's 38 days total. So now I'm going to add up all the pages plus the 700 for my ebooks, and then I'm going to divide it by whatever number I just said. I just forgot. It was at 37, 38, 38. I hate doing this too because books are different. Like reading 100 pages in this could be completely different from reading 100 pages in this, which could be completely different from reading 100 pages in this. But I don't know how else to like break up besides page count. Air Awakens is 308 pages. 1,000 Deaths of Ardar Ben is, oh my god, it just keeps going, 729 pages. House of Hollow is, I have to do this too without spoiling myself, and I'm so bad at that, 292 pages. Malice is, oh, I have to do some major math this time. Malice is 630 pages, but I have already read 150 of those pages. So 630 minus 150. I'm just gonna do it here. And then I have A Court of Rings and Ruin, which I know doesn't look that big, but is actually quite large. Don't read anything. 699 pages. I'm just plugging in 700. Court of Silver Flames. Better not read anything in this one at all, even close. Acknowledgements, 750 pages. Plus 300 pages for Master of Jin, plus 400 pages for In the Ravenous Dark, which is 700, equals I am trying to read 3,959 pages in the month of May. Why? Why? I'm not gonna make make it. I'm gonna make it. I'm just going to round that up. First I'm gonna write that number down, but I'm gonna round up to 4,000 and just call it like an E. Like I am less than 50 pages away from 4,000. I might as well just call it 4,000 at this point. So I'm gonna say 4,000 divided by 38 is, yep, just over 100 pages a day. So I need to read 105 pages a day starting today if I want to keep on track. I was doing pretty good with that through most of April. Like my physical reading's been doing fine. It's my audiobook reading that's like been taking a hit recently. I could do it if I'm able to push myself, but those days where I'm at the show, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do 100 pages those days. All I can do is start now and try to find out. I can do it. I probably won't do it, but I think at least if I can make it through most of these books, I'm gonna feel pretty happy with myself. This is my Saturday. This is my Saturday afternoon check-in. Apologies, I'm a little bit out of it. I just finished Shadow and Bone for the first time. Also, my hair looks great. Like it looks really good, but it also doesn't look good. You know, I'm not gonna sit and talk about Shadow and Bone. I probably never will talk about it on my channel, at least not right now for a while. I came here to talk about books, so let's talk about books. I sat and read 105 pages of House of Hollow tonight, and oh my freaking god, I'm loving this. I'm loving, instantly 5-star. Like from the prologue, I was like, this book is gonna be a 5-star. This is so good. So in this book, we are following 3 sisters. When they were young children, they disappeared from their parents for a whole month. And when they showed back up, they were naked. They had a little matching scar on each of their necks, and one of them had a knife in their hand. And then over the course of the next month, after they had been found, their eyes turned black and their hair turned pure white. And they seem to have these abilities to almost attract people to them. And weird things are attracted to them as well. Things like rot and dying and dead things and flowers and plants and creepy things. And people will like pass them on the street and just fall instantly in love with them and want to take them home and want to make them theirs. Now we're following them in like present day. I think it's been like 12 years later, and one of these sisters goes missing and the other 2 are trying to figure out what happened to her. And it's so good. It's so eerie and so creepy, and the writing is just beautiful. In fact, I want to read you the prologue. I mean, it's kind of long, so I might at one point just kind of stop reading it to you. I was 10 years old the first time I realized I was strange. Around midnight, a woman dressed in white slipped through my bedroom window and cut off a lock of my hair with sewing scissors. I was awake the whole time, tracking her in the dark, so frozen by fear that I couldn't move, couldn't scream. I watched as she held the curl in my hand to her nose and inhaled. I watched as she put it to her tongue and closed her mouth and savored the taste for a few moments before swallowing. I watched as she bent over me and ran a fingertip along the hook-shaped scar at the base of my throat. It was only when she opened my door, bound for the bedroom of my older sisters, with the scissors held at her side, that I finally screamed. My mother tackled her in the hall. My sister helped hold her down. The woman was rough and rabid, thrashing against the 3 of them with strength we'd later learn was fueled by I can never say this word. Amphetamines. She bit my mother. She headbutted my sister so hard in the face that her nose was crushed and both her eye sockets were bruised for weeks. It was Gray, my eldest sister, who finally subdued her. When she thought my mother wasn't looking, she bent low over the wild woman's face and pressed her lips against her mouth. It was a soft kiss right out of a fairy tale, made gruesome by the fact that the woman's chin was slick with our mother's blood. For a moment, the air smelled sweet and wrong, a mixture of honey and something else, something rotten. Gray pulled back and held the woman's head in her hands and then watched her intently, waiting. My sister's eyes were so black they looked like polished river stones. She was 14 then and already the most beautiful creature I could imagine. I wanted to peel the skin from her body and wear it draped over mine. The woman shuddered beneath Gray's touch and then just stopped. By the time the police arrived, the woman's eyes were wide and far away, her limbs so liquid she could no longer stand and had to be carried out, limp as a trunk, by 3 officers. I wonder if Gray already knew then what we were. So that's only half of the prologue. There have been lots of scenes that have just been spectacular. There's this one scene where the author was describing how this scent ate up all other scents around it and turned them into this rotting, decaying mass, and it's just so good. It's got a lot of body horror in it too, which is something I really like. There was this one bit where one of the sisters was injured, and when the other sister like went to look at it finally, there was a flower growing out of the injury, and when she pulled it out, there was like a whole root system in the sister's neck. I'm definitely gonna be finishing this tomorrow. It's so fantastic, and since I finished up Shadow and Bone today, all I really need to do tomorrow is laundry and editing. So I have 200 pages left, and I think I'm actually gonna sit and do some more reading tonight. Other book I started tonight, so I'm in the middle of reading Words of Radiance. It's my reread for Words of Radiance. I was supposed to read it in April. It's still technically April, but I'm not planning on finishing it in April. I now have it planned onto my May TBR, which is already out for you all. So I am finishing up Words of Radiance. I'm 20% through, but I decided to take a little bit of a break from it this weekend, so I wanted to pick up a shorter audiobook. So from my May bingo, one of the books I was assigned was The Girl Who Drank the Moon, which is a middle grade fantasy book, and I've heard really good things about it, so I picked it up tonight when I went on my evening walk, and I made it 10% through. So it is this story of this town who once a year, every year, abandons a baby to the witch of the woods to keep like themselves protected from her. They basically live their whole entire lives doing this. Now we also follow the witch who stumbles across these babies abandoned in the woods and doesn't understand why this village is abandoning them, and picks them up and feeds them starlight and brings them to loving families to be raised. Now, one day she finds a baby in the woods and accidentally feeds her moonlight, and moonlight makes the baby magical, so she decides to raise the child herself because she can't give a magical child to a normal family. And it's just so whimsical and sweet, and already has almost made me cry a few times just because of how sweet it is as a book. And I'm not often like out there looking for a sweet book or looking for like a heartfelt read. Like normally I'm very attracted to dark things, dark fantasy, dark settings, body horror, gruesome stuff, but every once in a while I just like, I get hit in the head and I want to read something really sweet, and this is doing it for me. It's really good, really enjoyable. The writing is fantastic, and there's like a nice sense of whimsy, and I love the personality of the witch. She's such a sweet woman. Like for instance, one of the things she said was when she kind of sees the babies abandoned in the woods, she says she doesn't judge the mothers who abandoned them because she doesn't know what they've been through. And I was just like, oh my God, it would have been so easy to write her as a character who judges these mothers and takes the babies and brings them to good families. But instead she's like, no, these women I don't know what they were through. I can't begin to imagine. I'm not going to judge these people who did it. I'm just going to make sure that good things come out of it. I'm really enjoying it. I think I have like 8 hours left because, well, that's not on the speed I'm listening to. So I probably have like 4 hours left. So I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow, but honestly, I just don't know how much time I'll get to listen to audiobooks. I'm really going slow with audiobooks right now. So I'll probably finish it by Monday, which means that Tuesday I will definitely be back to Words of Radiance, which will be fantastic because that'll be my day home. And hopefully I can make a dent into it. So I don't even know if you'll get to see any of Words of Radiance in this vlog, but that is the other book that I will be getting to next. I'm not totally sure what I'll pick up after this. I showed you my stack earlier of everything that I'm trying to read this month. Odds are I'll either pick up Air Awakens or I'll pick up one of my arcs, just because they're kind of shorter and I'm in the mood for something shorter right now. Court of Wings and Ruin and A Court of Silver Flames are both going to be towards the end of the month. I think they're going to be the 3rd and 4th week of the month. So I will need to be picking up Malice and Thousand Death, all of the other books before then. It is Monday evening and my last 48 hours have been so crazy. I haven't finished House of Hollow yet. I think I'm on page 160, so I basically have to duplicate that again in order to finish it. I was hoping to finish it tonight, but it is almost 9 o'clock, which means I will not be doing that. But I am off of work tomorrow. I did get my 2nd dose today, so I took tomorrow off of work in order to just kind of rest, because a lot of people have been feeling sick after the 2nd dose, and I just didn't want to have to worry about going to work on top of everything else. I'm hoping that I can finish up this tomorrow. I'm going to try to do some reading tonight, but finish this tomorrow and then read 100 pages of, I think I'm going to move on to In the Ravenous Dark next. It's going to be between that and A Master in Master of Jinn. I think I'm kind of more in the mood for a YA fantasy than I am for like an adult sci-fi. I also still haven't finished The Girl Who Drank the Moon, but I only have 25 minutes left in the audiobook, so I think I'm just gonna wrap that up before I go get my shower tonight. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's gonna be a 4-star. Most likely it's gonna be a 4-star. I think it's really cute. I think it's really sweet. I really like the message. I really like the morals. I really like the characters. I really like the world building, but it just doesn't quite have those like 5-star vibes, and I think that that's absolutely fine. Like, it is a really high 4-star rating for me, and I enjoyed my experience, and that's really all you can ask from a book. I do believe I've already told you kind of what this book is about and what this one is about, so I'm not going to go into detail about it now. This is still on track to be a 5-star. Like, it is so good, and I am loving it, and I'm enjoying it so much. But literally yesterday, I was on the phone for 3 hours, and then I was with family for 5 or 6 hours, and then I had to edit a whole entire video yesterday, so that probably took me like 2 to 3 hours. And then today I had work, and I went and got my second dose, and then I came home and I had another phone call for 2 hours because different book related things, and then I had to edit another video, so I've been doing that for a little bit over an hour, and then my mom called me and that took a good 30 minutes, and it's just been like, I haven't had free time to read like I wanted to, and I know that the rest of this coming week, which you won't be seeing much of, is just gonna be hectic. The rest of this video is going to look like is I'm gonna finish talking to you in this segment. You're gonna see some clips for tomorrow, and then I'll be wrapping up in about 24 hours from now for you all. The Girl Who Drank the Moon I read for Moon on the Cover. Since I'm pretty much done with it, I am going to remove it, and I'm just gonna finish it up either tonight or tomorrow morning, hopefully tonight. But that means I get to flip 2 cards, so let's do that really quickly. First one up is TBR before 2021, so that means it came onto my TBR before 2021, which really specifically means if it's an owned book. I have a lot of books I've started to realize that I bought before 2021 that I'm just not getting to. So like, I'm reading a lot of the books that I own, but most of the ones that I'm reading are ones that I bought like within the last few months, recently this year, and I realized I need to be getting to the ones that I bought last year. So that's kind of what that card was. Like, the idea of it was to force me to read books that I bought last year that I just keep pushing off. The next one, secret TBR. So that means I get to read a book that is off of one of my secret TBRs. I do have a few currently like in the works, so I might take a look at those and see what I want to pick up. I don't even know honestly if I'm gonna be able to get to either of those cards, just based on the fact that all of the prompts I can see are books I literally want to get to this month, and it's already so many. And I'm starting early this month. I'm giving myself 5 weeks to read all of my May books, and it's still probably not going to be enough. So I promised you guys an update on how I am feeling after getting my second dose. I already told you a little bit about how I felt after my first dose. What's really interesting is at this point after my first dose was when I was feeling really horrible and really crappy, and then I like basically went to bed at this point. This time I'm feeling really tired, and I'm not honestly sure if it's because of my vaccine or if it's because I've just had like a really tiring 72 hours, but I'm like really exhausted right now. But other than that, like my arm hurts at sight, but I feel nothing else. My mom said that she didn't start feeling bad though until the next morning when she woke up. So I'm fully prepared for tomorrow morning for me to kind of be out of it. And then she said as the day went on, like once she hit the 24 hours after she got her shot, she felt really bad. So my estimation is I'm gonna wake up in the morning not feeling great, but kind of functioning. And then as the day goes on, I'm just going to feel worse and worse and worse. So it's my day off. I'm sitting outside reading House of Hollow, and I'm about to show you the chapter that I just read gave me goosebumps, like all over my legs, all over my arms, and they stayed there for like a solid 10 minutes. It was creepy and eerie and bone chilling and disgusting and gross, and I loved it. It was great. It was such a good chapter. Like any horror book that can make me feel like that, it's doing its job. So update for this morning, I feel great. I feel actually perfectly fine. I feel really well rested. My arm hurts at location, and I definitely look tired, but that's because I haven't done anything except get up, walk for about 20 minutes, and then sit in this chair to read. So it's 8:15 now. I'm probably gonna read until page 200 of this. I'm on page like 160, I think, maybe. Yeah. And then I'm probably gonna have some breakfast and chill out for a while. Like today is just all about chilling and relaxing, but there are some things I need to get done. Oh my God. So I started feeling really crappy about an hour ago, just freezing. I can't seem to warm up no matter what I'm doing. And as you can see, I'm pretty much just curled up in a ball on the couch with blankets. So I'm just sitting here watching BookTube. Like, I'm to the point where I can't focus enough to read. I did eat a little bit, but then I felt extremely nauseous. And I ate because I was feeling nauseous. So I think nausea was one of my symptoms and I just didn't realize it. I thought I was just hungry. So I ate, felt worse, so I stopped eating. And now I'm just sitting on the couch watching BookTube. I can't, oh, it hurts. I've been laying on my other arm because the one underneath me right now is the one I got the shot in, and it's hurting really bad right now if I touch it. My hips are also really sore, which I think is just body aches because there's no reason why they should be sore. And like other parts of me are kind of in pain too. I took ibuprofen about an hour to 45 minutes ago, so I'm gonna sit here until that starts working. I'm hoping soon, and I'm just gonna keep watching BookTube. I'm feeling better now, just kind of a lot of body aches, no more chills, although my feet are freezing, but I think that's unrelated because my feet are always cold. So I think I can focus again. So I'm gonna pick up House of Hollow and do some reading. I think I have like just like 100 and some odd pages left. I think it might be like 104 or something. I don't know how far I'll get into it during this like sprint of reading, but I'm hoping to make like at least a 50-page dent. It's about 6 o'clock right now, and I have felt perfectly fine since I last talked to you guys, which I think was either around like 11 or 12-ish. Like, I feel kind of hot, but I literally think that's because it's 83 degrees outside and I live in Florida. Like, I'm almost always hot. But I had dinner, I had like a normal meal. I haven't had any nausea after that or like around that. I was able to finish House of Hollow. I really enjoyed it. I rated it 5 stars. There was definitely a few moments where I was like, okay, but I will say for 95% of the book, I was loving it so much. And I actually went and edited this video up until now. And it's funny because me reading the prologue, I realize now how much of the stuff that is said in the prologue is so important later in the book, and I didn't even realize when I finished the book how important that prologue was. And I'm really glad that I got to finish the book and then like hear me read the prologue out loud, because that was really cool. So yeah, I rated it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad I read it. I would definitely reread it. I'm gonna be putting it in my shelf, on my shelf near my like weird YA contemporary like horror thriller books. It was really good. I've already convinced a few people to read it. I'm about to pick up In the Ravenous Dark now. I don't know if I'll actually get 100 pages into it. That's what I wanted to do today because, okay, so I'm trying to read 100 pages a day over the next like 5 weeks, which is just ridiculous. And I know that over the next few days, I'm not gonna be able to do it because I'm gonna be traveling and everything, but I'm trying it. And what I'm basically saying to myself is if I miss a day, I can make it up later. It's not so much about every single day reading 100 pages. It's about getting all of 4,000 pages read in 5 weeks, in 38 days. So I am caught up to yesterday with my 150 pages that I read this morning, finally caught me up to yesterday. So if I read 100 more pages, I'm caught up to today, and I'd really like to have that done. I just don't know like the speed of In the Ravenous Dark, how that's gonna go for me. But I'd like to, and since I'm going to be reading it on my Kindle, I'm going to be taking it with me and hopefully reading on my trip, but we shall see how that goes. Okay, so yesterday I think I mentioned that I had like a book related call for a few hours, and it was to talk to a few of my friends. And on the call, we all ended up convincing each other to order books, of course, because we're book friends, and what else do? You convince each other to buy books. I ordered some books, and the thing is, Amazon told me, I ordered these literally yesterday at like 7 p.m. Amazon told me they wouldn't be getting here until Sunday or Saturday possibly. And I was like, that's fine, because I'm gonna be gone Wednesday through Saturday, so I don't want them to be like sitting on my step anyways for that long. I ordered them and said, please don't let these arrive until at least Saturday when I'll be getting home late in the evening. But then they emailed me this morning and said that 2 of them would be arriving today. And they're here. They just showed up. It's what, 7 o'clock basically? So we're gonna open these, and then I have to wait because the 3rd one is coming, I think Saturday still, which is really annoying. I wish they would have just shipped it all together and used less packaging, but they didn't really give me a choice. I ordered myself, I don't even know what these are called, to be honest. The second, nope, this is the 3rd. The 2nd and the 3rd from Blood and Ash. I also ordered myself the 1st from Blood and Ash because I only owned the audiobook, but since I already own the audiobook, that one doesn't count towards bingo. These 2 will be counting towards bingo, but they'll be counting towards Mabe's bingo. Oh, they smell like cardboard. I haven't read any of these books, but because I've been reading ACOTAR and I've been actually really enjoying ACOTAR a lot recently, I decided to give another fantasy romance series a shot. I used to hate fantasy romance, but I think maybe I was just reading bad ones. So I'm going to be giving these a shot. There are a lot of words on every single page, but these paperbacks are super floppy. Oh, I'm loving that. And I'm so excited because these covers are so pretty. Like, and then this one too. And this one just came out and I got it like really reasonably priced. The first one will be coming this weekend. It's the end of the day. I've been feeling pretty great most of today. I haven't had any other issues since I spoke to you this morning, so I'm really freaking happy about that. I did tell you that I finished House Apollo, but I didn't remove it from my board, and I read it for the prompt book everywhere, so a book that I keep seeing everywhere, which means I get to flip 2 more cards. So let's start with this bottom one. Next in series, so that is a little bit different from finish a series because it means I could finish a series or I could read like the next one in the series. It doesn't have to necessarily be the end, but it can't be the first one. So that's always fun and exciting. Forest setting. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to do some research to see what I have that would let me do that. So in other good news, I have started in the Ravenous dark. I feel like you can't ever see my eyeballs when I wear my glasses with the light on my face. So I've started in the Ravenous dark. I think I'm like 11% in, 12% in. Let's see what my Kindle says. 11% in. I wanted to get to 25% tonight, but it is 8:45, so I'm still gonna keep reading, but I don't know if I'll get to 25%, but I'm gonna aim for it. So this is the story of a girl who is a hidden blood mage, and in this world, blood mages are partnered with like these spirits. They're called wards, I think, and they work for the king to help like protect the people, and the spirit ward people are supposed to help protect the blood mages from the people and kind of protect the people from the blood mages. And blood mages are just anyone who can do magic, basically. So our main girl is a blood mage, and when she's very young, her father, who is also a blood mage, who is an unwarded blood mage, is found and captured and killed in front of her. It happens in the prologue, so I'm not spoiling anything big. And then very early on, like a few chapters in, she is found to be an unwarded blood mage and taken to the palace. Where I'm at now, I feel like the story has been going so quickly, so fast, like so much has happened. I feel like I'm just hanging on and going for the ride because it doesn't even feel like the plot necessarily has started, but I feel like the author has to introduce me to so much before we can get to the main plot of the story. But I'm enjoying myself. I definitely am intrigued to continue on. I don't have any like, oh my God, this is amazing feelings towards it, but I like it. I'm going on with it. I'm intrigued enough to continue. I enjoy the writing. I think it's easy to read. I think it's fluid and interesting and good. One of the things that really drew me to this story is our main character is a pansexual in a polyamorous relationship. I feel like I don't see that combination a ton, especially not in fantasy books. And honestly, I can't even tell you if I have ever read a fantasy book with a main character fitting those exact guidelines. So I saw that. I asked for the ARC online. This book does come out May 18th. So at this point in time, you will not be able to buy it, but very shortly you will. And so far, I recommend it. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I will let you know more about it probably in next week's vlog because I will be doing a normal weekly vlog for next Monday. So stay tuned if you really want to know more about In the Ravenous Dark, and I'll be excited to tell you about it. I am not quite on track with where I needed to be by the end of today, but I think I can get there before I go to bed. So I'm excited about that. I hope you all had a good week. I had a pretty stressful one, not gonna lie, but not a bad one necessarily. So thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. You're all great. If you've read any of these books, let me know down below, or if you're planning on reading any of these books, I want to talk about them with you like right now, right now. Let's talk. I don't remember how my outro goes, but until next time, I will talk to you in the comments. Bye.